Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Football Betting Series here on YouTube Premier League edition. October's got off to a good start with 7 wins, 2 losses and a single push for a monthly profit of £80.60. Adding that to the previous month's data, and we're sitting on a series record of 40 wins, 12 losses and 7 pushes for a total series profit of £325.20. I've got 4 selections in today's episode, so if you think I'm talking some sense, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Without further ado, let's get into it. Our first selection sees 8th place Fulham playing host to 5th place Aston Villa. And despite scoring twice, Fulham did suffer defeat in their last match away to Man City. The final score finishing 3-2 to the current champions. But Fulham will take great confidence from this one. Their general play was aggressive and they definitely created some chances. If it was anyone other than Adama Traore with the final product, Fulham probably could have won the match. In terms of form, this result did break a 6-game unbeaten streak in the Premier League as they've tasted defeat for the second time this year, but not a bad start for the cottagers at all. They play an Aston Villa side whose game was a lot less interesting in their most recent match against Manchester United. A bore draw in every sense of the word, as there was very little creativity and excitement in the 0-0 result, as both sides limped into the international break. Villa will hope that the return of players like McGinn, Onana and Konsa will rejuvenate them going forwards and coming into this match. In terms of form, Aston Villa are unbeaten in their last 5 Premier League games as well as their last 8 in all competitions. In terms of the head-to-head record, Villa managed to pick up a win in their most previous game, 2-1, a Watkins brace proving the difference between the two sides there. This win for the Villains means that they have won each of the last 3 Premier League encounters against Fulham and 5 of the last 6 matches since Fulham's return to the Premiership in 2020. My prediction for this game is that both sides have been really fun to watch this year. They've brought some nice attacking football, but have struggled to keep it tight at the back in the league. This means I'm looking at both teams to score. Fulham have seen both teams to score in 5 of their last 6 games, whereas Aston Villa have seen both teams to score in 4 of their last 5 Premier League games, the 0-0 against Manchester United stopping it from being 5 in a row. In terms of the head-to-head record, both of the last 2 games saw both teams to score, Aston Villa winning the most previous fixture 2-1 and winning the reverse fixture by 3-1. And because of that, I'm going to be backing both teams to score for a full stake in the first bet of today's episode. Our second selection sees 7th place Newcastle playing host to 6th place Brighton. And Newcastle, they drew 0-0 in their last match away to Everton. The Toon were made to regret missed chances, including Anthony Gordon's miss from the penalty spot, a really poor penalty which Pickford got 2 of these. Numbers-wise, Newcastle fans may feel that they had a case to win the game, but ultimately they looked like they missed Isaac up top. In terms of form, it's not great. No win in 3 Premier League matches for Newcastle now, and Eddie Howe and his team will be working hard during the international break to right some wrongs for sure. They host a Brighton side who beat Spurs in their last game. They were 2-0 down at the halfway mark thanks to goals from Johnson and Maddison, but a Brighton goal from Mite just after the half-time really gave the Seagulls some hope. This hope was fully restored by Gini Rutta's 58th minute equaliser to level the scores at 2-2, and the turnaround was complete when Danny Welbeck headed home not 10 minutes later to assume the first win of the game. A very Spursy capitulation and a really strong second half display from Brighton saw the game finish 3-2 to the Seagulls. This particular result broke a 5-game streak without a win for Brighton as they jump up to 6th place in the table. In terms of head-to-head record, the previous fixture finished 1-1 with both goals coming in the first half. Veltman's opener was cancelled out by Longstaff on the stroke of half-time. However, it was really a game of missed chances as both sides managed to combine for an XG of 3.59. In terms of a longer-term pattern for the head-to-head record, the last 3 games have seen both sides win and a draw in there as well, and over the last 6 matches the most common result has been a draw. My prediction for this game is that Newcastle and Brighton have some real attacking talent in their side. For the host you've got Isaac, Gordon and Barnes, and the away side features players like João Pedro, Matoma and Welbeck. The common thing with both of these sides is their attacking department's a lot stronger than their defensive department, so I'm thinking both sides will score in this one. Newcastle have seen both teams to score in 5 of their last 6 Premier League games, the only exception being the Everton match, and Brighton have seen both teams to score in 6 of their last 7 Premier League games. In terms of head-to-head record, 4 of the last 5 matches have seen both teams to score, and that includes each of the last 3 meetings. And for this reason, I'm taking both teams to score again for a full stake in bet number 2. Our third selection sees 19th place Southampton playing host to 15th place Leicester City, and despite making the breakthrough away at the Emirates, Southampton could not hold on to their lead. They fell to Arsenal, losing 3-1, with Bukayo Saka playing a role in all 3 goals, 2 assists and 1 goal for the England international. In terms of form, that's back-to-back losses for the Saints and no win in 7, with their single point this season coming against fellow relegation battlers Ipswich. Unlike their hosts, Leicester City can now say they've won a game, winning 1-0 against Bournemouth in their match before the international break. Buonanotte scored early in the first half and Leicester City managed to hold on. It was a tricky affair for the Foxes and they rode their luck at times, as Bournemouth created a number of chances in the second half but were ultimately unable to get that breakthrough, Leicester escaping with the 1-0 win. In terms of form, this victory snapped a 6-game winless run for the Foxes, and Leicester City have now opened up a 3-point gap between them and the relegation zone. In terms of head-to-head records, last season saw these sides play each other in the Championship, and Leicester really ran the show there, winning 5-0 in the most recent encounter and 4-1 before that. However, last time they were in the Premier League together, it was Southampton who won both league games, so the form's mixed. My prediction for this game is that both sides have really struggled to keep clean sheets so far this season, and there have been a few high-scoring matches, especially for Leicester City. For this game, I like over 2.5 goals. For Southampton, they've seen over 2.5 goals in 4 of their 7 matches, with an XG of 2.88 goals on average. For Leicester City, over 2.5 goals have come in 4 of their 7 games, including all 3 away matches, for an average of 4.33 goals per game on the road. In terms of head-to-head record, 5 of the last 6 encounters have seen over 2.5 goals scored, and for this reason I'll be taking over 2.5 goals for a full stake in bet number 3. Our fourth and final selection in today's episode sees 20th place Wolves playing host to 2nd place Manchester City, and Wolves, they suffered defeat yet again in the league in their last game, 5-3 against Brentford. It took just 2 minutes for Brentford to make the breakthrough, but Kuna did level the scores after a few minutes, and after that the game was on. It was a real boat race of offensive firepower, which Brentford won convincingly. In terms of home form, Wolves have now lost each of their last 5 games across all competitions, and they're winless in 7 in the Premier League. They're rooted to the bottom of the table with a single point and a goal difference of -12. They play a Man City side who continued winning ways against Fulham most recently. Despite losing the opening goal to Pereira, Mateo Kovacic did his best Erling Haaland impression, scoring a brace to turn the tables. After this, Doku added a third to kill the game despite a late consolation for the Cottagers. Final score was 3-2. In terms of form, this made back-to-back wins for Manchester City. They're unbeaten in all 7 Premier League games and unbeaten in all 10 games this season. In terms of head-to-head records, Man City won the most recent fixture by 5-1, with one Erling Haaland scoring 4 of the goals in a real drubbing. Longer term, Man City have won 7 of the last 8 Premier League meetings, with the only exception to this being the 2-1 Wolves win in September of 2023. My prediction for this game is that it has to be Man City for this one. They have a very good recent record against Wolves, and away from home we're going to get a bit more value on their price here. Wolves' form is pretty terrible, and City are in a fantastic position to pick up some more points as they continue their march towards the league title. City to win for a full stake in the final bet of the episode. So there we have it, 4 picks in today's episode, starting off with Fulham versus Aston Villa. We're backing both teams to score at odds of 1.47, a £40 stake to return £18.80. Also in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we've got Newcastle versus Brighton. Again, we're backing both teams to score at odds of 1.51, a £40 full stake to return £20.40. Also on the Saturday, Southampton play Leicester. We're taking over 2.5 goals, odds of 1.74, a £40 stake to return £29.60. And our one match on the Sunday sees Wolves versus Manchester City, and we're backing the away side at odds of 1.3, a £40 stake to return 12 in kind. So across the weekend, we're going to be risking £120 to hopefully pick up as much as £80.80. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Don't forget to check out the continental picks in the pinned comment down below. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.